been crucial to International Women's Day, and I think that's why it's really important that it be a celebration of working women and their unions. The issues that they've fought for, like equal pay, like anti-discrimination, like paid maternity leave, are working women and union issues. And I think it's particularly important for younger women coming through to know the role that unions, including the IAU, has had in achieving these gains. I think we've seen, particularly under the last 11.5 years of the Howard government and the work choices legislation, how easily gains can slip away. There's statistics from the Australian Bureau of Statistics and then more recently in New South Wales to show that pay equity diminished under the federal government's industrial relations system, which really meant that in a lot of workplaces men and women's work was valued differently and less, and those gains in pay equity can slip away so easily. Just in relation to issues such as paid maternity leave, although if you work in the Catholic sector and in most independent schools, we now have 14 weeks paid maternity leave. Many IAU members, if they work in early childhood or in the ELICOS sector, don't have paid maternity leave. Recently I was at our IAU Federal Women's Committee meeting in Melbourne, and there are schools, independent schools in Victoria and in South Australia and in Queensland, Western Australia, that either have no or very little paid maternity leave. The picture across Australia is very patchy, and I think we need to celebrate what we have, but for women in unions there is still a long way to go. We don't have a national paid maternity leave scheme, and I think that has to be a priority for the union movement looking ahead. We're often asked, why do we have a Women in Education committee? And perhaps in a perfect world we wouldn't need one. But certainly in my experience there's still a long way to go, that we still have to deal with issues, even if we have good legislation in New South Wales, if we have good awards and agreements, just issues like returning to work after maternity leave, or accessing opportunities for professional development and leadership for a lot of women can still be problematic. If women members want to become involved in these sorts of issues in their workplaces, or at, for example, diocesan level in the Catholic sector, the IAU provides lots of opportunities. Our Women's Committee meets by teleconference. We have regional meetings in places like Canberra, in Lismore, in Tamworth or Armidale, Newcastle, in our Parramatta office. We also have opportunities for women if they wish to be involved in their diocesan equal opportunity committees. The IAU supports that, and we nominate members to those positions. We want to be as open and inclusive as possible for all our women members in their workplaces to become involved in the union and to take some of these issues forward, because we've come a long way, but there's still at a practical level a very long way to go.